Alrighty, here's another video update of my custom 164 diecast workshop. Hope you guys are doing well today, Saturday. I'm working this Ryan Blaney 2020 Atlas Menards car. Now, I was pointing out in my last video how I wanted to pre-paint this red here right underneath these hood and fender decals, and so I've done that. Kind of put it there, and I pre-painted that across the bottom. I painted the wheels since last video, got a couple coats of clear sealer on there, so I'm just about ready to do the fluorescent yellow there. But I've got this sitting in here. These are the final pieces to put on this car, decals to put on this car. So I'll be doing that here in a minute. So I have finished. Actually, I'm not going to pick it up. I just put another coat of clear sealer. I have finished the reclamation project on this furniture row car. I painted the orange across the front. It's not a perfectly straight line, but I did my best. And I just put the last coat of clear sealer on it. I was hoping to mail that out today, but I think it's going to be Monday. Yeah, so that'll go out Monday, and that's ready to go. And then I have just reboxed this Blaney Sylvania Menards Talladega Win, and put it back on the post, and got that ready to go. So, also, Mr. DF, your two Kenseth 2014s are done, and they're ready to go. Probably ship those out on Monday. I don't know if you guys can hear the music in the background. I don't know if that's going to be a problem. I don't know all that the video is going to pick up, but if you were wondering, this is what I'm listening to. Mark Harris, The Line Between the Two. You can see that's a pretty good deal, huh? $2. So I'm a For Him fan. Christian music from the 90s, and Mark Harris spun off when the group dissolved, and put this CD together back in 2005. I like older songs. Well, I like songs with meaning, and yeah, so those For Him songs and Mark Harris songs never get old to me, and I'll listen to those while I'm working on these customs. It's encouraging. So I'm showing that I'm doing another Ryan Newman Liberty National. Just painted that. Actually, it may be dry already. It's pretty close to being dry. I just used that flat primer gray right there, and it matches really well to the car that was driven on the track. So I'll be ready to put that together here soon. Got another Busch car to do there. Just painted this fluorescent yellow, so this was primed white, and this will be another Blaney Atlas car. This will be for Mr. R.A. I'm not too concerned about the front. If you can see the front there, it's just a little off color. Can you see that? Right on the front bumper there. I don't know why that's the case. I'm not too concerned because it's going to be covered with a decal, but I don't know. Painting this fluorescent color is weird. It's not, I don't know. I think I do a good job of even spray, but sometimes it just doesn't show up very well. But once you put the decals on it, and you put coats of clear sealer on it, it covers a lot of the little paint imperfections. So, like I had one here in this bottom corner, but the decals will cover that up. So But yeah, that's that. You wonder what these two blue ones are. I haven't received the decal order from Patos yet. Those are going to be two of the Kyle Busch 2016 NOS cars. So, had the blue background removed, and I think this, if you can tell, this brilliant blue Rust-Oleum is a pretty good match for that. I painted this last night, and I painted that just this morning, so that's going to dry. But I think this is a pretty good match to his NOS paint scheme, better than any of the other blues that I have. I think this is still a little tacky. But I'll do one for Mr. IH, and then I'll sell one. I've got a few here getting ready for Mr. WH. These are the Chevy COT cars. I actually have 3 of them. I have these 2. And then I have this beautiful Junior National Guard COT. The problem I have, and I'm going to set this camera down for a minute, the problem I have with this is, and I've showed this before a while ago, but this spoiler's plastic. And it's got these little tiny pegs that go into here. If you can see this right here and here. They're plastic. And they're, they put a little glue on them and they shove them in there. And it's a good hold. However, I need to take them out. And so I'm taking my time. I get a little wiggle, right? I use the knife and I kind of just cut ever so carefully along the edges, and to try to loosen up the glue so I can pop it off without damaging these little posts. It's nearly impossible, I have to be honest with you. I don't know if I've ever removed it where I didn't ruin at least one of the posts. But that's kind of what I'm after, and I'm in no rush. I don't have the decals yet, but I was hoping to work this. And when I was messing around with it yesterday, sometimes they just glue one side and not the other. But unfortunately, it looks like there's glue on both sides, or it feels like there's glue on both sides. So I'm going to try to be super careful in trying to get this off without trying to damage or break the plastic. So I'm not going to do that on camera. Because if you don't realize, the camera is kind of in my way sometimes when I'm working on stuff, because I want to give you guys the best picture of what I'm doing. So, but when I'm doing something like that, I kind of like to hold it in my lap and work it. And then while I was working this, waiting for decals to come in, I figured I might as well do another Trump 2020 Tim Vaine's car and or truck. And so painted that, got a coat of clear sealer on it. I'll probably put another coat of clear sealer on it, and then I'll put it all back together and start working that. Already applied the sticker to the box. So yeah, so that's what's going on. Let's put this on. Of course, I washed my hands before I started the video, and well, before I started the video, and also before I started working this stuff. Actually, I'll be honest, what I was doing, I was upstairs doing the dishes. So, we have a dishwasher. I use it, but I don't know. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I like to wash things. I like to make sure it's clean. And I like I like the idea of getting it washed and done and back on the shelf. I don't know. If you put it in a dishwasher, right, sometimes it takes a few days for the dishwasher to get full capacity. So, I don't know. I just like to wash things. And while I'm doing that, obviously, my hands are getting clean. So, okay. So this seems to line up pretty good around the bottom, but this is raised up on this side. See that? It's a little better. Trying to get that pony right. Lined up over that Ford logo. Alright. And now I'm stretching, I'm kind of putting my finger on this side and on this side to kind of, you know, stretch it across the front and force it in place. Looks like when I pre-painted. I hate when I do this. You see that? I got a little bit too much red. And so it's seeping out. I got a little bit too far to the side. Dang it, I hate that. This side's fine. It's not a big deal, but I don't know, just bugs me a little bit. And there's no way you could paint yellow over that. That's not gonna, it's just gonna have to be like that. I just got a little bit too aggressive with my red, and I came too far down this way, or out this way. Oh well. Like I've said, I'm always after the perfect custom, but I hate those, what do they call them in tennis, unforced errors? I didn't need to, I just was a little impatient, I guess. Come on, don't go too far up. I need you down. A little bit lower. Had a really good men's prayer meeting this morning. I've had a couple of the men in our group have the COVID, and they tell their stories about, you know, just this one guy was telling the story about wetting the bed, and he wasn't urinating, he was sweating, and he would have to get up and change his sheets in the middle of the night because they were just soaked with sweat. And testified that, you know, God was with him in the pain and agony of the sickness that he had. And during that time that he was having the COVID, his mom passed away. And, you know, there's not a lot of funerals that are happening right now. So he was not able to, you know, be with his family, and it's just tough, you know, just a tough time. But he spoke of God's faithfulness, that in the trials of life, God is there, God is faithful, does not allow us to go through trials alone. And, you know, just neat to hear the stories of these men, older men, that, you know, God's faithfulness to them and the difficulties of life. One of our other guys he just got over COVID, and apparently one of the major side effects of COVID is blood clots. It's very common to have blood clotting after having the virus, and he was a little touch and go there for a little bit, but now he's improving, so grateful for that. But there's difficulties in life, physical difficulties, can drive us closer to God, or they can drive us further from Him. And these guys testifying of their faith being strengthened during a time of great trial. I don't know, it's really encouraging. I would have to be really in bad shape to miss our men's prayer breakfast. It's just a really encouraging time. Alright, this is coming along pretty good. If you guys can see this, I'm pretty happy with it. Oops, let me get it on the camera here. Looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I don't have any yellow showing under here or over here. It's relatively centered. Even though I got a tiny little bit of red popping out here, it's not that big of a deal. Alright, let's get some headlights in place. See that? If I wouldn't have pre-painted it, it would be yellow all around here. It would look terrible. I'm not saying it looks great right now, but to me it's better than the yellow showing through. And just speaks, when you're working with this stuff, whether you're printing your own decals or you're buying them, some of the biggest hassle is just improvising around the shortcomings of a decal set. So here, well, I'll just show you this as an example. This is the way you trim out the decal, and I cut this part separate from this because I want to be able to line it up and make sure it matches up here. If I would have left it as one piece, placing the decal on, they wouldn't line up. So I try to do that where I can, and it makes sense. So I wanted this to line up here. Okay. That's good. I mean, ideally it would come down closer to this Sunoco decal, but it's got to line up with this piece, and that's the best of two negatives, right? You'd rather have a gap down here than a gap between these lines. So okay, that's pretty good. It looks relatively centered and symmetrical. All right, last decal here. We're looking at refinancing our house mortgage. It's amazing to me, the interest rates, what they are these days. It's insane, to be honest with you. Sub 3 interest rates. That's just crazy. My dad used to tell us a story of when he moved. Let's see, where was this? Back in 1980. He was forced to move. His company was transferring him. And he had a decent interest rate where he was. But at the time, 1980, he had to get a new mortgage. And it was 13% interest rate. Ugh. Could you imagine that? And now we're sitting at below 3. That's just insane. So we're trying to get a mortgage rate underneath that. So, got to look at that here after this video. Okay, that's the end of the decals for this car. My next step, and I just want to leave this here. I'll let this dry a little bit before I mess with these rims. But I'm pretty happy with this so far. Again, it's not perfect, but get those rims painted yellow, and that'll be done after I put a bunch of sealer on it. These decals are a little flaky. That they can crack for some reason. So I was messing around with some of them, and if you're not careful, if they're not like in and adhering to the body well, they're raised up a little bit. They can, if you push on them, they can crack. So you gotta be careful, for sure. Because once you start getting some coats of clear sealer on it, that hardens them, right? So okay, let's set this aside. So I don't know if I've done this on the video in a while, but put this car back together here since this paint's been dry. Painted it yesterday. And this paint dries really quickly. Some of it takes a while. Okay, what do we got going on here? Ouch. Sometimes when you force these back in, you get a little residue on these little corners, right? You see there's a little blue. There's a little blue there. And if it's prominent enough, I'll go over it and I'll touch it up with black. Sometimes it's not that big of a deal, I just leave it. I don't know if you can see this on the camera. So I like to paint the outline of the glass or plastic windows, and sometimes it will like spread and create these little veins. Can you see that? Ever so slightly. Right there. It just kind of leaks up a little bit. They look like little veins. I don't know why it does that. I guess it gets into the plastic and it's porous and it sucks it in. But I hate that. It very rarely does it happen, but it happened on that one. I just hope it doesn't do it a whole lot. So, put a little glue here. Every once in a while, I have these extra little broken toothpicks here. You wonder what are those for? Well, I wedge this in because sometimes that little side window doesn't like to be flush. So I just wedge it until the glue dries. Then I put the little glue there, and then it'll dry, and then I'll pop that out. So somebody was emailing me. We were talking over the email. I was like, how do you know where to do this? How do you know where to do that? Well, like I told him, I said, trial and error. Been doing this for almost 11 years now. Some of what I do, things that I've learned, like that little trick there, just, trial and error, and improvising, that kind of stuff. Just little tricks that you learn over the years to make a better product. So actually, I'll just set this up here. And this will be Kyle Busch number 18 NOS. That'll be fun. Waiting for the decals to arrive. Once I get here, I'll be able to slap that together pretty quickly. I haven't checked the mail yet today. I'll have to check the mail today. See if it comes. See if it came. That would be awesome. And this is still a little tacky here. I can't mess with that. So what's on tap for this afternoon is going to be decal in this second Talladega win. Sylvania. True Wave Technology. Natural light for natural living. Put that together. God bless you guys. Have a great day.